back to the resilience building program. I'm going to give you another breathwork technique that builds on that first check that we did. And if you didn't do that, please go back and check your ability to tolerate the buildup of carbon dioxide in the body, because having that baseline is really important for moving through all the breathwork. And again, let me give you the reference material that will take you into the deep dive behind the science, and that is the work of Patrick McKeown. And The Oxygen Advantage is his book, or his other Bible of breathing. I mean, this thing has everything, The Breathing Cure. Now today, we're going to talk about how to use your breath to create greater heart rate variability. What is heart rate variability? The Institute for HeartMath back in 1991 got curious about something. They wondered if anything was happening between heartbeats. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Anything going on between that? Because we have EEGs and we can check how that heart rate looks and check all the waves and all the fancy stuff there. But the Institute for HeartMath was wondering, is anything actually taking place between those heartbeats? And what does that mean if it's important at all? Well, what they discovered was there is a ton of electromagnetic activity taking place between our heartbeats, and that creates a variability between the beats, and depending on how that electromagnetic sine wave looks, we now know if our heart is either coherent as a frequency or incoherent as a frequency. When it's coherent, it looks like a very smooth sine wave. That, friends, is parasympathetically restorative to our body. Having our heart in coherence is a way to create great returns on investment when it comes to parasympathetic nervous system restoration. That's what we're after here, right? Counterbalancing stress. If we have an incoherent frequency between the heartbeats, it looks kind of like a seismograph during an earthquake, right? Where that thing's just kind of jagged and all over the place. It is certainly not the smooth sine wave that we would like to have that shows our heart rate variability is very good. And so we're going to use a breathwork practice right now that's designed to improve heart rate variability. And it's a really simple deal, friends. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to breathe at about 6 breaths or less a minute. Why? Well, when we breathe at 6 breaths or less a minute, we become parasympathetically restorative. Something very interesting happens. The heart signals the amygdala in our brain, which is our brain's watchdog, that actually everything's okay. When we're in that breath rate pattern, everything in the brain calms down. It really is wonderful in that regard. And if you think that's going to mean letting your guard down, you're absolutely wrong. It actually expands your awareness. You just don't have that hyperreactive, stressed out mindset of what's wrong in my environment. Everything's calm, centered, balanced, and you're very open and receptive to everything that's happening around you. It's kind of the sweet spot, the zone. And of course, having good heart coherence is really good for our cardiovascular system. So there's no downside to this, and it's so easy. So here's what the breath work looks like. You breathe in for approximately 5 seconds. Do not obsess over the number, okay? You don't have to sit there counting and have it exactly precise. Approximate a breath in through the nose, because that's parasympathetically restorative as well, for about 5 seconds, okay? There's no breath hold here. We will then just exhale the breath after that 5-second inhale, and here's the trick. You're going to hold it about 2 seconds longer than the inhale. So about 5 seconds in, about 7 seconds out. That's going to place us under 6 breaths a minute. And you're going to notice everything just calms down. Now, I always get the question, well, Roger, how long should I practice this? Well, my recommendation is do a couple of 3-minute rounds of this throughout the day, whenever you can fit it in, right? But it's sort of cool because I have now really started breathing like this most of the time. Like if I'm driving my car, or I'm listening to a podcast, or reading a book, or sitting in another Zoom meeting, right? I just began this pattern of breathing because it is so calming. I feel amazing when I do it. And what's really cool for me is I expand this awareness and I miss nothing. Like I am so sharp mentally because the hormones of stress have been reduced. I'm now in parasympathetic restoration. I'm not in sympathetic nervous system dominance. I don't have a bunch of cortisol flooding my body because I'm all hypervigilant to the world. My amygdala says, hey, everything's cool because I'm breathing in this pattern. Friends, no downside on this one. So easy to do to create this beautiful sine wave. Now, in case you're wondering, how do I know that? Well, I have some very fancy biofeedback equipment from the Institute of HeartMath, and I've put this breathwork technique to the test. It absolutely creates that smooth sine wave, and I am in heart coherence, which is the best, highest level of heart rate variability. And the more that I breathe in that pattern, the more that I'm in that beautiful heart rate variability with a coherent signal, everything in my life improves. And I'm not exaggerating here. Everything in my life improves. Body, mind, spirit. Don't dismiss simple practices, friends. They're among the most powerful return on investment. It costs absolutely nothing. And if you want the deeper dive on the science, please get Patrick's books because that's where you're going to learn about that. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to stabilize blood pressure. So this is called blood pressure variability breathing, and that's going to be the next video. And if you have low blood pressure or high blood pressure, this breathwork technique tends to bring that into balance, into the sweet spot that we're all shooting for, right? So that's the next video. Practice this. Please, in the comments, let me know what's going on. If you got any questions, if I confused you in any way, you need clarification on something, reach out. That's what I'm here for, and I'll help give you a little bit of guidance. And I'll see you at the next video.